What's the best and worst thing about living with each other? Lucy has a regular job. What does she think of yours? Is she jealous that you get to do fun things? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I've got a fun video today. I have a McDonald's McDelivery for me and Lucy is gonna arrive any moment now. Basically, if you wanna know the ins and outs, we've been to Asda where they've got McDonald's, did a food shop, bought McDonald's, have driven home, and then Lucy was like, oh no, we've got ice cream. So Lucy's run the ice cream into the house, and then she's gonna come back to the car and we're gonna film, because I couldn't be bothered to set up a tripod and a light. It's almost like your car is like a makeshift studio. It's soundproof. I've got lights in, you know, the flappy things that come down, lights in those. I'm resting you on the dashboard. It's like a ready-made studio, so we're doing it in here. I asked you guys on Instagram to send in your questions for me and Lucy. Get in the studio.
Get in the studio,
Do you know what? I'm livid. They've not put in any dips. We've ordered 3 dips and there's no dips whatsoever.
No.
I know, it's ruined everything.
That is so upsetting.
This is why I hate McDonald's. I've never been to McDonald's where they get your order right. Like, they always miss things. I haven't had Mackie D's since we were drunk on your birthday and Drew drove us.
That was a great
That was so
time.
fun. Right, we're here to answer questions. Okay, this person says, how long have you two lived together and would you ever be able to live with anyone else now? Haha.
We've lived together for 4.5 years.
Yeah, 4.5. We lived in a house full of, there was 4 of us, house of 4. Full of. Then we lived in just us 2 in the flat, and here we are. I think it would be hard to live with someone else now because we've gotten so used to living with each other.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to live with anyone else friends-wise.
No.
Basically, our plan is we both fall in love and get married at exactly the same time. And we'll just move in with our spouses. And that's the only option.
It's just a lot of pressure because when one of us is dating more than the other, it's like,
which is always you.
Which is always me.
Yeah, I'm the one. You're gonna have to just wait, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
you can't leave.
It's true. Once we did actually, I say break up with, both of them, they weren't boyfriends, but we broke up with the boys at the same time on the same day. And we helped each other. We were in the car. You've been on like, what, how many dates with this guy?
Only 2, I think.
I think I've been on 2 with this guy. Oh, really?
Washing machine.
Oh, no. Yeah, I hadn't kissed my date because I don't kiss before the second date, so...
Or the 10th date. Which one was that? I suppose you can't say.
But yeah, you won't remember.
No, there are too many.
No, too many. But no, and I texted, well, you texted yours first, we drafted them together, and then I texted mine, and then we both felt crap at the same time, so that's good.
Nice. Although we both did the breaking up with, so we probably felt better than the other people.
Yeah, they were, oh, they were distraught.
They're probably still not over it now.
No. What's the best and worst thing about living with each other?
Best? Non-stop lols.
Yeah.
Literally.
Non-stop.
We just have a hoot.
All the time.
We just laugh all the time.
We do.
We're quite annoying in that we have very similar silly humour.
Yeah. And private jokes that when you explain it, they're not funny.
No.
So
we shan't be explaining any of our jokes. The worst thing, maybe your farts. And you do poo a lot.
Do I?
Well, not at the moment, you poor thing.
No. Bunged up.
Do they know?
They don't know.
You're in for a treat.
And they're not going to.
Okay. And I'm quite a tidy person, so sometimes when you're less tidy, I get a bit frustrated. But I can recognise that that's my own. I just like having a very tidy house.
Yeah, you do.
Right, back to you.
I wish I was a minimalist, but I'm just not.
You're not unclean, you're just a bit messy.
Well, that's the thing. I'm quite clean, and I'm more likely probably to like clean the hob because I'm like, oh, it's messy, it's dirty, but I'm not very tidy.
Whereas I'm tidy, but probably less clean. Interesting. What does that say about us?
Good mix though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think the same. The lols, and the worst thing, I don't know, it's probably the fact that we get along so well, because then it just makes you like, well, I don't want to see anyone else. There's no point. I don't know. That
was one of those things where, you know, in a job well, I don't know if you do know, but when you go for a job and they're like, what's one of your biggest weaknesses? And you're like, I'm a perfectionist, and it's like a backhanded weakness.
I do everything
So you're
perfectly.
like, the worst thing about you is that I love you so much.
Do you have a Hornby railway? I don't know, someone asked if we have a Hornby railway. Both of you have done so much with the house. Aww. What is the next big thing for your home?
Well, I've already started peeling the wallpaper off.
She's so annoying.
That's the worst thing about living.
That is. She started peeling the wallpaper before we started decorating. So the other day, people came to my house for a work thing, like in a professional capacity, and I was like, ignore the wall. It's just my housemate just started peeling the wallpaper. And they went, well, it's okay because it's nearly Halloween. It looks spooky. And I was like,
great.
Oh, cool. Great.
Next big thing, we need to strip all the walls downstairs. From wood chip wallpaper. Hopefully not replaster, but maybe.
Today we got our chimney swept and we've got wood in the back. And we're gonna light our first fire today. You'll see that in another vlog. This person says, where did you meet each other?
We've spoken about this before.
I know.
They're obviously not a fan.
Clearly not.
What should I say? Something like, we're gonna be really good friends. Which actually is quite weird. I don't normally say that to people when I've just met them.
Yeah.
The context being, I think a lot of people had said like, you and Joel get on really well.
Yeah.
At church, that was the setting.
The setting.
Let's set the scene. We were at church.
Church. We were actually in a Starbucks, but it was a church setting at Starbucks.
Yeah. So then, because people had said we get on so well, I said that to Joel, and he said, "Why? Why would we be friends?"
Why? Yeah, but I'm an introvert, so that sort of behaviour is a, like, alarming red flag.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But was that before or after I started coming to your house because you lived with Drew?
After, I think, because I don't think I'd ever met you, and then you started coming to my house with Drew. To see Drew.
So first of all I said we should be best friends, then I started coming to your house.
Yeah. That's exactly how it happened.
So Joel lived with one of my good friends, so he couldn't escape me.
Sadly not.
I was right.
You were. Your mum has said, when are you coming for supper?
No, she hasn't. Mum.
So cute.
Aww.
We should have gone today instead of a McDonald's.
Oh my gosh, don't. Sorry, Mum.
Sorry, Mum. Maybe near Christmas.
Yeah, once you're back. Mum, we're coming. I'm going to see my mum while you're away.
Oh.
I might go stay with her for a bit.
You can't see her without me.
She probably wants to see you more, to be fair.
No.
Oh, Mum, so cute.
Okay, this is an interesting one. Have you already agreed plans when one of you wants out of the joint mortgage in the future? We probably have spoken about this before.
We're going to keep it for 5 years, minimum. But we might not both live here for all that time, so just depending what happens. But in theory, in like a year, you could be like, I want out right now. Like, that bit's not in writing.
We've committed to live with each other for 2 years, because we would have signed a 2-year tenancy anyway.
Did we commit to living together for 2 years?
I thought the agreement was we'd live here for 2 years together, and we keep it for at least 5 years.
Oh, I didn't know about the 2 years, but that is fine.
Wow. Yeah, but 2 years goes so quickly.
Just let me breathe.
You can't leave. But yeah, so let's say, so Lucy clearly didn't know the 2-year thing.
Plan.
But if after 2 years we're like, actually we want to move out, we would then rent out the house, or one of us would rent out a room to someone.
I think that would be a very sad time, wouldn't it?
It would. And I don't feel like it's anywhere near happening anyway.
No.
Also, I think when people say things, some people are like, have been really negative about it when we moved in, like, what if you meet a partner and you want to move in? And I'm like, I feel like both of us are quite traditional in that we wouldn't want to move in with a partner unless it was like very serious and it had been a long time. So we've got time. It's not like we're going to meet someone in 6 months and then be like, I want to move in with them.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to happen.
And also, that is going to happen. Like, the reality is that it's going to happen. So it's not like when people say, what are you going to do when if you meet someone? We're not like, oh my god, I've never thought of that. That's what? Lots of chats like that when we were thinking about buying a house. And actually, our financial advisor, I think, was the one that said you should think about, like, what if Joel wants to move out? What if Lucy wants to move out? So, like, made us think about all those things.
Yeah. Yeah. And luckily, we've bought in a really good area and got the house for such a good price. And we know that other houses on the street have sold for like 100 grand more than ours and stuff. So we know there's potential to, like, hopefully gain a lot of value in the house. So that's settling as well. So that'll be like a, what's it called? Like a peace offering if it's one of us has to leave and we have to sell the house. We'll be like, well, at least we've made money on it. When are you making an OnlyFans together? Next week.
Maybe soon. When he gets back from his trip.
Oh, what's the one thing you wish for each other in 2022? That's so sweet.
I was going to say to meet someone, but I actually don't want that because then that starts everything that we were just talking about.
That's true.
I wish for you, I want to say peace, and it sounds very lame, but I mean it in a really nice way. Like, I want you to be really happy and like really at peace with everything in your life and just like enjoying it and not stressing and
that's very kind. I'm not going to say the same thing as you, but similar vibe. I want you to be happy with your life, with your job, where you're at. Because also, what you don't know about Lucy, or you probably do, she's studying to be an accountant whilst working at the same time. I want that to be over for you. I want you to be fully qualified, but that's not going to happen in 2022.
No, but it's, you know, nice thought.
Yeah. pass a few more exams, you're closer to your goal.
I'll only have one left by the end of 2022.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Thanks,
I think that's all right.
So sweet.
So sweet,
What a
aren't
sweet
we?
boy.
Someone says, how does it feel to buy a house with your bestie? I love the idea.
Aww,
It is great.
I'm like,
Everyone should do it.
do it. 100%. I think you do have to find the right person.
Yeah, it could easily go wrong.
But because we lived together for so long anyway, what could go wrong?
Yeah, if you're living with friends and you've lived with them for a few years and you know you get along with them and you live well together, I would say 100% like consider doing it if you can. But yeah, maybe don't just pick a friend and go, you. This person, ask Luce what it's like having a famous YouTuber as a friend and roomie.
Feel starstruck every morning.
I bet you do. Do you count your blessings every morning?
Yes.
No.
What's that really cringe saying that's like, when I count my blessings, I count you twice. Bread in my teeth. It's really fun. It's just great because, Joel, you're just a normal human being.
I'm just a normal guy.
What people don't see is Joel's just a normal guy, you know? But then it's funny when funny things happen, like you get spotted out in the street, and then it's like, why does anyone care about you?
It is true, because I'm just so normal. But that is the funny thing when people ask that. It's like, actually, you wouldn't really know that that's my job. I think if you like see me day to day, it's not like I'm doing super glamorous things. It's not like I've got millions of pounds. It's just like, I just live a normal, I've just got a weird job.
I'd probably still be friends with you even if you weren't a YouTuber.
Oh my gosh,
Maybe.
thank you. Yeah, apart from I'd be miserable if I didn't have this job. Can you two harmonise? 3, 2, 1.
We're one.
Oh my god.
If this video gets, what's a lot of views for you?
I'd be happy with 10,000 on this.
Is that what you saying? It's gonna be a rubbish video. I'll be happy if this video got 10
No,
views.
as in like 10,000 would be like a decent video, but like if we're going slightly unrealistic or slightly pushing it, 20,000 would be like...
If this video gets 20,000 views, Joel and I will perform...
Oh yeah, then maybe 30,000. Then we'll perform.
X-Files from 60 Musical.
Oh my gosh, that would be so good.
With dance routine.
So this is a similar question. Lucy has a regular job. What does she think of yours? Is she jealous that you get to do fun things? I normally take you along for all my fun things.
I think lockdown was quite weird because I never really saw what you did day to day. And then when I was working from home, I was like,
yeah. You get to sit on a sofa in the middle of the day.
Yeah, we've had discussions because your working hours are like shorter than mine. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
But you say that like you've designed it that way because you want to have a bit more free time to do other things. And like, I think for me, it was never like a fixed thing, but I was always like, oh, I'll just have a full-time job. And then I think living with you now, I'm like, oh, like that's what it would look like if you did something else. But yeah, like you said, I mean, I think it's great, and I benefit a lot from like you doing fun stuff. So
yeah, well, that is funny because when we lived in a house of 4, obviously you and Joe go to work, and me and Drew, being self-employed freelance, would just be like, should we go shopping? Should we get a haircut today? Should we go have like pizza? Things like that, because we could fit it into our schedule. Yeah,
I think that flexibility, because like now working from home, it's definitely more so that it's like, oh, I need to do this at 3, so I'll just like take my lunch at 3. But you obviously don't need to worry about like being online, or you can just schedule meetings whenever you want. And
also, Lucy is very creative. She sings and she does all sorts of creative things. She macrames everything. Everything.
One thing.
And one exciting thing you've started recently is your very own Instagram account.
Not just a personal Instagram account.
No, oh yeah. Lucy's had Instagram. Lots of you follow her on there anyway. But you've started, tell them about that.
Okay. Well, Joel will know I bang on about it. I love secondhand shopping. I care about the environment, love sustainable things, and if I say so myself, I'm pretty flipping good at secondhand shopping.
Oh my gosh, she will be the type of person that comes back from a charity shop or thrift store and finds like the nearly new perfect shoes in her size, and you're like, for like a bargain, and you're like, how have you done that? So
I just thought I'm going to start an Instagram and start talking about stuff like that, because I did it a bit on my own account, but I always felt a bit silly because it was just with my friends and I can just tell them in person. So I've started a separate one to just talk about stuff like that, and also like connect with other people who do similar things, and like find more small businesses and sustainable businesses. So yeah, I think it's been like a month now.
Wow.
So early days.
You've been doing reels as well.
I have. It's been hit and miss. It's a real roller coaster.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reels are quite fun. To be honest, maybe that's one of the main reasons, because I was always like, reels are so fun, but I can't just do it on like my personal, like my friends would be like, what are you doing?
No, you can.
A fun hobby, but yeah, I'm enjoying it, and see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah.
So everyone go follow Lucy. It'll be on screen right now as if by magic. Okay.
Conscious.lu.
What is your favourite feature of your new house that each of you likes? Which is quite nice, because we live in a very historic home. Built in 1870.
Tell us more.
Built in 1870, it's not a nunnery. No, it's not a nunnery. As we found out, we went to our neighbours and they've been told by the estate agents that nuns used to live in our houses, and then one of our other neighbours was like, that's not true.
Do you know what, this is a great question, because like we've said, when you live somewhere, I only focus on like the bad things about it.
Yeah.
Thanks for blocking my face.
Sorry.
It's like really important conversation. So what it is,
Does I kiss your hand? Really dry kiss, chickeny kiss.
Salty prune lip.
With breadcrumbs.
No, when you live somewhere, and particularly because we're doing it up, I only focus on the bad things.
Yeah.
And so my initial thing is like, I don't like anything about it. That's obviously not true.
Well, I know mine. Should I say it while you're thinking about yours?
Right. I was about to say mine, but okay.
Okay, go on then.
No, you go. Sorry, you go.
My favourite thing is the front of our house, like the appearance of the house with the porch, because we've got a lovely little porch, and it's just, we're going to put fairy lights up it, and it just looks like a country cottage in the middle of London, which is crazy. And the fact that we've got a front garden, which no other houses in London really have a front garden unless you've got £1 million property, or not even 1 million, 2 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my favourite part.
That's nice. Funny, because I hate the front of it.
Really? Well,
I don't hate it. Like,
no, I hate the garden.
It looks like a dump at the moment.
Yeah, it needs work, and the front door needs repainting and everything.
Though.
It's got good bones.
That's what our dads would say, wouldn't they?
They would, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Oh, there's a few things actually. The fireplaces, they're just lovely, aren't they? I also, which might be a bit controversial, I love the end of our kitchen only because it is so bright, and so like it's just really nice. Like in the summer evenings, it was such a nice light room. It's a shame it's made of plastic, but
yeah, it's literally a shed, but it does let in a lot of light.
The garden as well. It's got a really nice like old wall at the back, and I just think it's quite picturesque.
Yeah, I like the old wall. Apart from the fact that we had to get a survey because we thought it was falling down. Any tips for moving on after a breakup?
Gosh, we've both been through so many. Where to begin?
Where to begin?
I would say, this isn't really a tip for getting over a breakup, but a good life tip if you're single all the time like me, which is don't wait to be with somebody to live the life that you want to live.
Yeah.
So
I think I've said that in a vlog before, that me and you talk about it a lot.
Okay, well,
we do, don't we?
Let's just echo
that reinforces
that.
it.
We're really hammering it home.
Yeah.
For me, an example of that is, well, one example would be like buying a house. Like obviously not everyone's in that position, but I used to always think like, oh, when I get married or whatever, I'll buy a house, and then that wasn't right. Well, I'll start again, shall I? But yeah, just not waiting to do things. Like if you really want to go to a certain country and you've always thought, oh, I'll only do that with my boyfriend or girlfriend, just do it on your own or go with a friend. And if you want to take up a new hobby or you want to be a certain type of person, you should just try and basically do that on your own, because then otherwise you're putting so much pressure on being with somebody in order to have the life you want.
Exactly.
So I think if you can, like, just try and have the life you want as it is, and then...
And doesn't it make you confident when you're dating? Because you meet someone new and you don't go into it like with all that desperation and like, oh my gosh, I need to find my person because I need to do all these things with my life. You actually are like, I've got a sick life. And then, like, do you fit in with my life? Can I fit in with your life? Like, it's more of a compatibility test, not like a, I need this date to work out.
Yeah, what do you think? You've got any breakup tips specifically?
Breakup tips? I don't know, because I'm one of those people that I need to be busy and surround myself with people, and then at the flip of a switch, I'll be like, I need to be alone. And then I have to, like, go on a massive walk or cancel plans or whatever. So I think just take it how you...
And I think you can do that. You can be a bit selfish, can't you? And
definitely.
just be like, this is what I need right now.
Yeah. And it helps to read a book. I got over one breakup with Harry Potter books. But like rediscovering them again, and it became like anytime I feel upset, I just get my book out and read it. And because it's something that I love so much, it was like, it really took me away from all of that pain.
That's rubbish though.
What's rubbish?
Breaking up.
Yeah, oh, it's the worst. This person says, does she share your love of all things Potter? Yes. Yes. What did we just buy?
I've put them in the I've put them in the bloody
damn
house.
it.
We bought Harry Potter mugs today, didn't we?
Yes!
Yes!
One's got an L on it, one's got a J on it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we love it.
The great thing, guys, they sell them in Asda right now.
Yes.
And I'd actually seen them the other day, but they didn't have an L. And then we went back again, they still didn't have an L. And then today,
they had an L.
They had an L and a J.
They did. Do people ever mistake you two as a couple? All the time.
Yeah.
When we hang out, dog walk, going for dinner.
Especially now, when we're in the house, and like when...
Like today, the chimney sweeper, I was like, he definitely probably assumes that we're a couple.
Yeah. And we went for drinks with some of our neighbours the other night. We actually didn't tell them, so I wonder if they know.
Yeah.
They were all couples, more or less. And we were just like, we need to, at some point, just drop into conversation that we're not.
Yeah.
But the worst was when we were looking around the houses, because they would always say, which bedroom's going to be the master bedroom? And we were like, both?
Both, this
both
one?
of them?
Well, it's also not awkward, but it's just awkward when people assume. Yeah. If you weren't so foolish, she would be your wife. She's the best thing that's ever happened to you. Grow up. I was like, Dad, is that you? I'm joking.
Joking, it's all our parents.
It's all our parents, yes.
Who's that from? How
Someone called Jim.
Jim, thank you.
Jim. Thank you, Jim.
Single.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I'm a bit insulted, really. Like, just think like... Well, no, as in like... He's insinuating that like sexuality is like, just grow up. Like, sorry, I know she's a catch. Can't help it. That's why we live together. And also, at this stage, even if I was straight, you wouldn't want me anyway. You've probably got to know me too. You got to know me too well now that you're just like, oh no.
I joke.
You're mean.
I'm just waiting for you to
grow up.
To grow up and be straight.
Well, we'll leave it there because, I mean, this is going to be a very long video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
And for eating McDonald's with me in my car.
That's okay.
We're steaming up, aren't we?
Let's get the neighbours. What were the neighbours?
What were the neighbours think? Start rocking the car.
You should do that thing in Titanic where they're like...
Oh yeah, with a hand. That is it, guys. Subscribe if you're new here already. Go follow Conscious Lou at her on her new Instagram or on her personal.
Not my personal.
No, well, your new one's taking over now, so it's like you're more active on there. You get a bit more of an insight into Lucy's life.
Who is she?
Who is Lucy?
Who is she?
Who is she?
Yeah.
That's true. So, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.